how to make chocolate popsicles in about 3 minutes. Now, you might recognize this recipe as a very popular chocolate avocado pudding recipe that a lot of people use, and all we're really going to do is take that same recipe and put it into popsicle molds to make some really tasty popsicles. So what we're going to need for this recipe is 4 very ripe bananas. Now mine are pretty new, so they're not going to be as soft as I'd like. They'll pour a lot easier if they're ripe. A 1/4 cup of cocoa powder, 1 avocado, and a 1/4 cup of almond butter. What we're going to do is we're going to start by peeling the bananas and getting these into the blender. Then we are going to take an avocado and we're going to cut the avocado in half. I like to take the knife and you stab it into the pit, pop that little baby out, and then just take a spoon and scoop out the inside. Like so. And now 1/4 cup of cocoa powder, and last but not least we're going to put in this almond butter. Now I said a 1/4 cup of almond butter, but one thing that I tell people often is, you know, very few recipes do you actually need to measure exactly what they tell you. Sometimes you do, but most often you don't. With the almond butter in this recipe especially, I mean, if you put in a little bit more, a little bit less to your preference, you're not going to ruin them, you're going to make them just as good. So we're going to take the almond butter, and what I like to do is after you've mixed up the oil into it so that it doesn't get hard on you over time, I just pour it in and I say, oh, that's about a 1/4 cup. And there it is. So now I'm using my Vitamix, but you can use a blender at home. That would be just fine. Here we go, or a food processor. So with my Vitamix, I blended that for about a minute, and there it was ready to go. And now we're going to just take the pudding mix and we're going to put it right into the popsicle molds. Now, this is like the biggest tip that I could give you today. This is a spatula. Now, what my great-grandmother told my mother was, every time you use a spatula, you're going to get a whole extra cookie. So today, we're going to get a whole extra popsicle by using a spatula. You can get these spatulas at the dollar store. You know, you don't have to go and get anything high class. This is a great spatula from the dollar store. Then you're going to take it, and again, my popsicle mix, not too bad today. A little bit thick, but it's going to pour okay. So we're going to put that directly into the popsicle molds. Okay, so clearly my pudding mix is a little bit thick. Again, why we choose very ripe bananas for this. But you know what, me making a mess in the kitchen is definitely not a new thing. So I have ways of cleaning this up before we put it in to the freezer. Now, one of the problems I think that comes up for people that are cooking at home is that, you know, somebody who wants to eat less packaged foods is the, you know, when the kids come home and say, hey, I want a snack right now, and you think, oh, well, wouldn't it have been great if I had homemade popsicles in the freezer, but of course I haven't made any, and that'll take hours. So what I suggest is on Friday night or Saturday morning, you make this decision in advance that at that time you will just whip these up, literally taking 3 minutes to do it, especially if you have ripe bananas, and it goes right into the freezer, and then they're ready all weekend when the kids come in and they want a snack. And I will tell you, the kids, if they know you're making these in advance, they're gonna like wake up asking for this. And honestly, in our house, I have no problem letting the kids have these popsicles that we make with their breakfast. So, very messy version here, but what you have seen here is the 3-minute chocolate popsicles. And we're going to pop those into the freezer, and we'll see them in a couple hours. So here's the finished product. Now, if you want to experiment when you're making these popsicles, you can throw in something extra like pecans, for example, which is one of my favorites. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it's been valuable for you. Please head over to eatbydesigncoaching.com and sign up for our free video series so that we can support you to create an extraordinary life.